Facebook now, and we'll get it started. Oklahoma doesn't get his no, Steve. He's like 5.5 inches. I mean, he even has a decimal point in there. Hey, everybody. Hopefully everybody's doing amazing. Happy Monday to you all. It's 10th of February already. Amazing for a short month. Wow. Almost halfway there. And so very excited. We have, this year has been great already for a lot of you guys, but I know that as we get things going and hopefully you're still going strong with your New Year's resolutions. I know that some people wean in and out of them, but it's always a good day to go back to it, right? So we want to make sure that you are taking full control and ownership of your business. And in the last few weeks, I've met with a lot of business owners from different industries. I've talked to a whole lot of people. And one of the things that I wanted to share tonight is really a concept that has been pretty much a mantra of my life, but also that as I continue to read this book, and I hope that you guys have a chance to read this and study it and go through it in detail, because it's some amazing information about you breaking through some barriers that maybe you built over time and some limits that have prevented from you to operate in your zone of genius, but also to allow to control time the way you want to control it, to be fulfilled in every area of your life, and to be genuinely happy. I think that if you notice, people that are truly, completely, and wonderfully happy operate almost at a different frequency, at a different level. They're able to accomplish more. They're able to succeed in different areas. And it's because I believe one of the big steps, and as you go towards the end of the book, is they take ownership. They completely and honestly take ownership of their results, no matter what area of their life it is. If it's business, if it's money, if it's success, it requires complete and total honesty of owning your results. The ownership of you, understanding that it is about you. It is not about external circumstances. It is not about anything but you that makes that abundance of success happen, in that you are the source of the abundance. You are the source of the abundance. We were equipped from birth, even before birth, with every single tool, every single every single capacity to go and create wealth, to go and create success, to go create love, to go create happiness, to go create power, momentum, inertia, energy, right? How is it so amazing? I always think that this is an amazing thing that a lot of people don't really stop and think about it. Just think about how much effort does it take for us to create energy like electricity, right? How many resources need to be acquired, consumed? How many people is required for things as simple as powering your houses? However, we as human beings, the energy production in our bodies, in our cells, it's pretty much a given. We are producing energy constantly. We are an endless source of energy, of intelligence, of power in so many ways. But sometimes we underestimate that. And I think throughout our life, we don't realize how wonderfully made we are, and we shortchange ourselves so much. We start losing confidence. We maybe fail once or twice over our lifetime, and we think, oh man, I'm not going to be able to succeed in this area. And you start believing not only what you're telling yourself about what you're capable of, but you start believing those around you that maybe are a little jealous, envious of you doing things that are greater in life in many different areas. So we start accepting these limits. We start accepting these invisible walls that prevent us from stepping from level to level to level until we reach a place where we're so very comfortable with achieving success at every level in our finances, in our love life, in our relationships, right? In our own happiness, in our confidence, in our health, in our fitness, every single area that you choose to produce great abundance and results is within your reach. There is really nothing stopping you from achieving that, right? But the first step of doing that is to be honest and to say, okay, now today I take full and complete ownership of my results. And if you're building the Trunited business, I'll tell you this, you have to take full and complete ownership of your business to go achieve the results that you want to achieve, right? Stop wandering aimlessly at trying to build something if you don't have at least defined some goals for yourselves. It is very, very hard to achieve something if you don't have a target to shoot for. So if you haven't really set up some goals of simple things, very, very simple things, stepping stones, because success is really like a ladder, right? If you see the chart that is behind Ron, right? Not the one that goes downwards because that one's scary, but the one that goes upwards is like a ladder, right? That one, exactly.
That's the stock market.
It's like a ladder, right? And sometimes we fear the big goals because we think, okay, what exactly am I going to be able, how am I going to be able to get there? It's overwhelming, it's difficult, it's hard, it's big, it's huge, it's an unattainable success that nobody in my family nor myself have I ever gotten there. The challenge really is that you are trying to shortcut the process, and the process is really that success is like a stepping ladder, right? One step at a time, right? So if you want to go make $12,000 a month in your business with a Trunited Challenge, then the very first stepping stone is go talk to at least one person a day, right? Create a contact every single day. That should be your very first step. So if you are looking at your success ladder, you have to create something that is achievable in my mind, right? And I'm going to draw something super simple, but that I believe is powerful, because I think most of us are trying to get this wrong, right? We are stuck in thinking that this is the goal, right? This is your $12,000 goal a month, right? 12K a month is your goal. All of us have this goal, but we think that somehow we're going to get there. What I think we need to be focused is taking ownership of the very first step, right? The very first step of the ladder is down here and is making one contact per day. That should be our stepping stone of success, right? Because if you don't do this, if you don't at least do this and take ownership of this first step of the ladder, then guess what? We are really fooling ourselves into thinking that we're going to get to 12K a month, because we at least need one person to be active in the Trunited Challenge and do the same thing we're doing, right? And then you start breaking down these steps, really step by step. You start breaking down this, that will allow you to start stepping up the ladder, right? Because this is really what happens in everything, right? Once you start making one contact per day and you get comfortable with that and you take full ownership of that one step, what starts happening is it doesn't get any easier. you just become better at it. You just start gaining practice of it. And then what starts happening is you start going to the second step, which is actually, right, registering an active TrueNited Challenge member, right? That's the second step of the ladder. The first is making contact, being able to share the plan, being able to share the freedom hack, being able to share things. And then you start going through this, but you have to take full and complete ownership every step of the way, so that once you are comfortable with one a day, and that's the problem, most of you guys are not contacting one person a day, right? You're maybe contacting one person a week. So when we start taking that as a stepping stone, don't even think about 12K a month until you're doing this first step. Once you're doing this first step, what you're going to notice is you're going to start getting comfortable with it. You're going to be able to relate more to people. You're going to gain practice, right? I've seen people already move from this progression of not talking to anybody to reporting activity daily on the TrueNited Leaders chat of things they're doing every single day, right? And it's because they're taking ownership of this process. Now, once you start registering people to the TrueNited Challenge, then you can go to the next step of this ladder, which is probably helping those active members connect others, right? Which is very simply, you're gonna just help them do exactly what you did by them starting at the beginning of the ladder, right? They're going to have to take ownership as well of starting at the beginning of the ladder, starting at the beginning of the success ladder, right? I always think about all the businesses that I've been extremely successful at. I've started with the most basic things, right? And I've had to master those basic things to progress to the next step, right? The e-commerce business that has been really one of my biggest sources of success over the years, I started doing it all myself, right? I had to learn every single thing. I had to post the products myself. I had to ship the products myself. I had to pack the products myself. I had to talk to the customers. I had to do everything. Once I got good at it, then I could start connecting others, if you will, in my business to start achieving those tasks. But you're going to continue doing this for at the very least 12 months, because this is what the TrueNited Challenge plan requires, if you think about it. And of course, this is not going to turn out to be to scale, but what I do know is that what happens is once you reach your full 12-month process of registering an active TrueNited Challenge member that does the same thing as you, and they do the same thing as you, you're going to get to this point. It's unavoidable, because this is how ladders work, right? If you start climbing today, the what's that place, Ron, you probably know, is the Manitou Incline, right?
Yes.
There is an incline here in Colorado that has thousands of steps. I don't even know how many thousands of steps, right? And it's very, very popular because it's basically this ladder that goes all the way to what's the top of the Manitou incline? Is it Manitou Springs, basically?
No, the top is Pikes Peak.
Pikes Peak. Okay.
Yes.
So and you start, I don't even know at what height you start, but it has thousands of steps, and many people get to the bottom of the Manitou incline, look up, and they don't want to do it.
Oh,
right?
1,500 vertical feet.
There you go. They don't want to do it because they're looking at the big old staircase, and their heart is already pumping. Their adrenaline is rushing through their body, and they're already exhausted, and they have not even taken the first step. Now, if it was a super cloudy day and you could not see the top of the thing, right? And the only thing you could see was the next step in front of you, I guarantee you that most people that fail to climb that incline would complete it, because they would not get in their head about doing the climb. They would just think, oh, I just have this little step ahead of me, and they would complete it. I just have this next step ahead of me, and they will complete it. And there will be a stepping stone that goes one after another, because at the end of the day, it's just that one step of effort. It's not a whole lot of effort. It's one step of effort. And yeah, you can take a break here and there, but most people really start getting dizzy. They claim it's altitude sickness. They claim they're out of shape, they're short of breath. And in reality, it's their mind telling them, you're not worthy of this goal. You cannot achieve this. You did not prepare for this, right? When if they would just focus on the step ahead, they would start moving forward towards their goal. And before they knew it, within just an hour or two, they will reach the top. This is exactly how your United business works. But the first step is taking complete ownership of your results. You cannot blame anybody for where you are right now in your business, right? And that's what I hear a lot. A lot of people jump from place to place thinking that the grass is greener somewhere else. The grass is greener where you water it. And in reality, here's something amazing that I think about often in terms of abundance, right? The book gives something that they call, I think is probably one of the best short phrases I've heard, as far as you being able to say in the morning, in the afternoon, at night, whenever you're feeling like you need a little encouragement, right? And it basically reads like this. It says, I expand in abundance, success, and love every day as I inspire others, or as I inspire those around me to do the same, right? Which to me is like Trunited, right? Because this is exactly what you're doing. You're trying to expand in yourself abundance, success, wealth, love, and you're trying to inspire others to go do the same with a very simple model of success. Probably the simplest I've seen in financial history.
Yes.
Now, what is abundance, right? Abundance is thinking that it is possible, that you can achieve these things, that is within you. It's speaking as if you already had achieved it, as if you already had accomplished it. It's feeling it, right? It's not letting yourself get in your head when you see this big goal ahead of you, but just look at the next activity in front of you. And it's acting as if success was already yours, as if its success was already abundant, right? Before you talk to somebody new, tell yourself, this could be my next legend. In fact, let me correct myself. This is my next legend in the business. This is the next person that is going to be the one that is going to build this to its maximum level. Because this is how you attract that abundance to you, because you're the creator of it at the end of the day. It is not really ever about external circumstances, right? There's those out there that are waiting for external circumstances to get them excited about their lives, to get them excited about their business, to get them excited about the industry or anything about it. It is not. It is you within yourself that creates this energy and power. It is already in you. It's internal, and you are the source of it. And complaining about things never actually helps you. In fact, complaining is completely the opposite of abundance. It creates scarcity, because in the book, the author talks very specifically about time, right? And a lot of people that I know, one of their excuses for not doing something else, or, creating a side business or a side income stream, is I don't have any time. I am busy. I don't have time for that, right? That is scarcity. That is not abundance. Time is infinite. You're the creator of it. And he talks about Einstein and how he really put this into perspective, that we think that time is a limited, finite thing, but in reality, you're able to stretch time as you see fit when you start learning how to do that. And I think wealth, success, leadership, inspiring others, helping others is exactly the same thing. Otherwise, why would some people be so poor, and why would some people have billions in the bank, right? If wealth was a finite resource, is abundance, right? There's abundance. There's infinite amount of resources for you to go achieve this wealth. And in the same token, there's abundance of people that when you talk to them about the True United concept, are willing to listen to you. Now, if one of those people that you talk to says anything negative, then those are not necessarily the kind of people that you want to bring along to the ride, right? You are in control of your team at the end of the day. You have to look for those that think about abundance, wealth. Now, can you help people change along the way? Sure, you can keep in touch and help them and everything else, but it's a lot easier to work with people that already have understanding, awareness, knowledge of this, or that instinctively they're doing it, because it could be both things, right? Some people maybe have studied this, became aware of it. Like, you know, I've heard so many amazing testimonials from you guys in the last couple of weeks about the information in the book and the awareness is bringing to your lives about the upper limits and limiting beliefs and how to break your paradigms and how to push through to this new zone of genius that you can operate in. And of course, this is not an overnight thing. It's something you have to work on, just like you do in your business. You have to take ownership of this and study it and learn it and practice it and get good at it, right? Because anything that you want to get good at requires practice, requires an investment of time, of effort, of energy, of money even. So this is really what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. And I hope that I've encouraged you to take full ownership of your results. Go out there and think that you are the source of that abundance. If I can recommend the book for you guys, I would definitely recommend you go buy this book. It's $13 on Amazon, guys. A Starbucks and a bagel, basically, that could potentially help you change everything about you've known in your life about limiting beliefs in every area, but more so importantly, what I think might be holding you back from building a massive business in True United. Ron, you want to add a few things?
Oh, you bet. I just reflecting and just following Ron on Carlos's lead. We were taught to be the example for the organization that we wanted to build. We wanted an organization to follow us, but we needed to be the example. And example in everything, example in work ethic, example in how we were building our business. Were we trying to build a quality business? Were we trying to build a shortcut type of business? And so your organization will be very much a reflection of you. So I just think it's a lot easier to get to that $12,000 a month number if you're building a business where expectations are that 100 points a month is very, very minimal effort, if you will. I mean, that's kind of getting your toe wet in True United because of how small of an investment it takes to generate 100 points, especially with the True United Challenge products. So, you know, do the math, guys. 55,000 points gets you $12,000 a year, or excuse me, $12,000 a month. $12,000 a month. That's our goal, is to be to that point over the course of a year's time. So it's a lot faster to get there if you're teaching people not only to be able to do 100 points, but 200 points, 300 points, and beyond. And with the tools that we now have with Priceline enabling us to be able to generate so much client volume that we'll start getting points that'll just be dropping out of the sky like manna. And it's just, wow, where those points came from. I don't even know where somebody used a card that I gave out. I think Mike Mueller is trying to set the world's record for how many cards he can get out there for all of us. And so, guys, that's just lead your team by example, and just have fun, and just please give plenty of encouragement along the way. And let's celebrate those victories, no matter the size, and just have that clear vision of how you want to see yourself as we progress throughout the year, and just enjoy the journey.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. You get to designate a leader to speak next.
James Willett, tee it up, James. I see you're in the top left of my box.
There you go.
Well, I don't have too much more to add. Just to follow up, as a leadership group, some of us have been having this conversation about making sure that when we do start reaching out and connecting people, that we emphasize keeping it simple and really focusing on, we covered this last week at one of our team Zooms. If we know that corporately 90% of our volume is coming from really what Ron just focused on, the challenge products, which is the Healthy Vita and the Vengo, sorry, then it makes sense to just continue moving forward, really keeping it simple. Again, I think organically, as people begin to build, they're going to latch on to all the other products and things that we have to offer. But from a scalability standpoint, to be able to sit down with somebody and show them how they can start, not just changing their immediate future, but build something long-term by really just focusing on one or two key products that most people are using anyways. I think it's the way to move forward. I know we people hear us talk about travel and a lot of the other products that Trunited has access to, and we do have a bunch of other amazing ways to put up some profit points. But in the end, I think in order to really begin to duplicate, the focus really has to be simplicity. And I think sometimes we have a tendency to get in our own way in many cases, and talk about all the features and the benefits and all the different ways that people can put points up. But reality is, and again, we've got data now to back this up. If we already know 90% of our overall our growth, our corporate income, our personal income, our team points is coming from literally just two inexpensive products that are already on Amazon, I think it makes perfect sense for us to continue to move forward and just stay. And that's our sweet spot, And I just wanted to reiterate, because I know James Katina is going to get on here in a minute, and he's going to pound another point home that we've been talking about the last few days. I think the message has got to be simplicity. It's imperative that we move forward and make sure that people can wrap their head around how simple this is, because in the end, it really is that simple. And if people look, I know all of us want everybody to succeed. We would love for everybody to jump on board and see what we see. But in the end, honestly, if people aren't wrapping their head around the simplicity of just grabbing one or two of those items and then starting to share, they're probably not going to gain traction in building the business to scale. Just again, based on numbers. So that's just my overall message. Make sure that we're keeping it super simple. I like to say, if you're talking about Trunited initially, introducing this to somebody, and you're having a conversation that lasts more than a minute, you're probably about to talk too long. That's how simple we need to keep this. So anyways, that's my message. Love you guys. And I'm just about done myself, and I can't stress how crucial this is to the not just personal growth of yourself, but learning what it's going to take to build a big business and open up the doors to a long stay here at United. So appreciate you.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you, man.
And on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and nominate James Katina so that we can keep a synergistic message going, because he's about to rip the roof off right now.
Nothing like a little pressure, man.
Right.
Welcome. So good to see everyone. Happy Monday, Carlos, Ron, and the entire crew. I do want to just say real quick, because I see her name on here, a quick shout out to Miss Denise Borja, who joined us at our gathering here in Franklin, Tennessee on Thursday. We had a phenomenal time. It was a great turnout, and a few new people came in. And one of those new people was Miss Denise, a very bright young lady, full-time student here in Nashville. And here's the full circle picture, and it's exactly what Brother Carlos you hit on. You know, taking full ownership of what you're doing here with United, taking ownership of your results. Denise was approached by one of our great partners, Miss Jocelyn. Jocelyn, who is in San Diego. Denise used to live in the West Coast. And so their first initial conversation about United was probably 7 months ago. And without going into a long story, just at the time, Denise had so many things going on. And I hope you don't mind me sharing a bit of your story, Denise, but maybe the night before our gathering on Thursday, Jocelyn reached out and said, "Hey, remember my friend Denise? She's studying in Nashville. Can you just text her and see if she might be available to join you all?" And again, this was last minute. This is a full-time student living, 30 minutes across town. But long story short, Denise made it to the gathering. She got to meet Kevin and Leanne, Brenda, and so many others. Ed Latacuente was there. And in that next few days, we've been having dialogue. Last night, Denise not only joined the United Challenge, but she's ready to build a business. There's something to be said about timing, but it takes just that one simple initial step. You don't know, and we will never have control over what the new person is doing if the time is right, but you don't know. And that is so powerful. And I just want to say this, in just taking the weekend to read this book, I've been reminded, Carlos, and I feel like I was just reinvigorated, if you will, because when I'm starting to understand where my, these hidden barriers are, or these fears, or these limits, what it does is it's enlightening. It's like the light turns on. And as a result of that, over the course of the weekend, I shared with James and Rich and a few others. I believe that something in my spirit reminded me that I'm in the right place here in United. I've been with United for almost 3 years, and I could absolutely say, without a shadow of a doubt, to new people like Denise, you are in the right place. Why? Because United has everything that you're looking for. It really does. It's the most simple comp plan that you'll ever find. It's an amazing platform to be able to create a new stream of income. United is the right place to be in, y'all, because we have this community. It's a community of like-minded people. So I just want to join Carlos and Ron and James to just say, hey, let's go build this thing. Let's keep it simple. We're talking about one of 2 different products here to put in a true box. Joining us on the United Challenge. Some of you might say, you know what, I want to speed the process here, because here's what I do know. And I love the 1 a month, Carlos, but here's what I know. United, it's actually built for speed. The United is built for speed. So you might be someone who, if you can just find 6 people, and don't worry about the time. I mean, if you see what we see, then many of us should be able to get 6 people within a few weeks. It's in 6 weeks, 8 weeks. But whatever the case may be, keep it simple. And I have renewed my passion, refocused, if you will, as a leader to just help people figure out what is it that they want and then move from there. But I just got to say to you, you are in the right place.
Thanks, brother. Who's
Thank
next?
you, bro. I will select, let's see. I'm going to select my sister, Francine Adrian, representing New Jersey. Francine, can you talk?
New Jersey and New York.
Yes.
Yeah. She has wide reach over
Okay,
there.
I am unmuted.
Francine.
Well, there's not much left to add between Carlos, Ron, and Brother James. I have found the more that I'm with True United, the more simple it has to be. I meet strangers who I usually wouldn't strike up a conversation with, but as I posted the other day, I was just buying merchandise. And just as I was leaving, I just said, do you like to travel? For one example. And they all did. And they were all very interested in our travel link. And they were very, very surprised to hear that there were no obligations. There was no money up front. It's a gift. It's I spoke to the manager and explained how she can give these out as a gift to the shoppers who she appreciates. So that's just one example. The others, all along, like James was just saying, it's so simple. We started way back with the Organifi. We did really well with the Organifi. That is a product that you just mentioned how healthy it is, how good it is for you, how you get money back for being healthy. And the other sites, they sell it at full price and give you back nothing in return. So I guess I'm just summarizing what everybody has been saying. Keep it simple, keep going. Don't get discouraged by people that are looking for a reason to not want to get on board. There's always going to be people that say, well, there must be this or there must be that. And I was with this company and this company did this and that. We're not like the other companies. And I also expressed to them about our community. And many people are very, very impressed about our community and our faith and the help we give to one another. So that is my input for tonight.
Thanks, Francine. You're awesome.
Thank you.
Who's next?
Who are you picking,
Oh.
Francine?
You get to pick the
I
next
can
speaker.
And,
of the night.
and I just started the book because I've been having a crazy life around here, but I managed, and it is amazing. And it's fast reading. I said that Carlos had said to go slow, devour it. So I am reading my words slowly and paying attention. Rather, you can go fast through that book, but I don't want to. Let me see who else is here. Steve Dixon, are you there?
Oh yeah, you bet I am. Okay, it's either her or Leanne. Always picking on me. That's fine.
There goes the neighborhood.
Oh yeah, thanks, Mike. Yeah, I knew that was good. Carlos, I guess I have to admit, talking about James Gattino, slow reader. I'm more of one to listen to books, whatever. But I'll say I'm on chapter 4 in the Big Leap, and just started today, and definitely a good read. I'm actually catching myself when I read a really good part, go back and read it again. So I'm doubling it up, getting it clear in my mind. Also wanted to just touch. I haven't heard anybody touch, and I know Carlos, I've got a video that I owe you, and I just wanted to let everybody know, guys. I have been in this industry for 35 years, and I will tell you, I have seen every comp plan out there, guys. Any one up, two ups, one down, two down, left, right, matrix, binary. I've seen them all, guys. Nobody in this industry can touch what we have with the point value, guys. If you in any way, shape, or form understand what a point value means, it means, and I'm just going to say it the clearest way I can. If and I don't have a quarter laying around here, but let's just say we're at 22, and my group and Carlos, I'm throwing out fictitious numbers, but I'm at 5,000 a month, and my life gets crazy busy, and my organization, let's say it stays the same, but everybody's still committed to doing the challenge, and they're still doing the same amount of points, and I'm still at 3,000, and then magically 6 months or 12 months out, that point value changes to double, 45, and all of a sudden my income is now 6,000. There's not another comp plan in the world, period. Nobody can say, wow, magically, automatically my income, the point value increased, and all of a sudden now I'm making more. Guys, that is going to be as people grow their organizations, and as we promote out Priceline and the unmatched point, and I heard, I think it was James saying, or it might have been either James, talking about as people use this amazing tool that we have that other companies are paying for, we get it for free. Guys, when you all of a sudden you're out there putting out, and I wanted to read something to you, and I did send you a message in private, Carlos, on the cards that Net Direct Sales has done for us, the 1,000 cards, and I'm definitely picking Mike next, 100% for sure. The cards are, when I say bulletproof, guys, these cards, I've been, and this is a hats off to Carlos. I've been using Vistaprint, guys, for 15, 20 years, and that's not a joke. I will tell you, the cards that I just got from Carlos, they're bulletproof, you can carry them in your pocket a full day, and the edges aren't even ruffled. You can have a Vistaprint card. End of the day, you have to throw it away because the ink has got smudge look on it, and the ends are ruffled and whatever. These cards are bulletproof, and my response has been overwhelming that you're giving something for free. And I just want to read this to you, Carlos, personally. This is from Larry, my connector, and Kevin Weldon's on here also. These business cards are so great. Gave my first one out to a young dad at the park when I was there with Chloe. He really thanked me, and then he put a quotation there. That's a switch, huh? He really thanked me for giving him something for free. Really thanked me. And he goes on to talk about military dad, lost a leg, and he sees it, he gets it, and I think that will turn into something. I'm excited about that because we're giving away something for free and helping people. People really enjoy the fact that if they book something and they save $60, $80, $120, $150, that money pays for the rental car, or it pays for eats while you're there, whatever. And I'm just super, super excited about what we've got our hands on. don't want to get in a long story there, but I just I really, guys, I've been in, like James, I've been in right at 3 years. I'm not going anywhere ever. I mean, no matter how busy or how crazy my life gets, whatever, trust me, I will still be drinking 4 or 5 cans of Vingo every day. And the Healthy Vita vitamins, me and Christine have been taking these since the day we got into the business. That was in our first order. And we take the 4-pack each and every day, and have never missed ever, and never will miss as far as that goes. And wash it down with Vingo. She does wash it down with orange. I'm a strawberry fan myself, but definitely excited about what we got our hands on. Let me go ahead and go and call that, and then let's bring on Mike Muller, please.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Ron is correct. I think I lead the way in handing out cards, but my thing, guys, is, and Steve hit on it with handing out the cards. It becomes a conversation starter. You know, you're giving them away something for free. I see these people most of the time again, and it is a way to break the ice with them. You know, just ask them how their day's going. It's the start of building a relationship with them, and at the same time, you guys know this are in the group, that I had an individual today that I said, and I just basically said to her, I've given you a card, correct? And she says, yes, I've got it in my purse right handy where I can get to it in case she needs it. So, I use it as conversation. I've had the conversation lead to the challenge, and ultimately that's where we want to go. But it's a way to get there for me. It's a way to make new connections. I mean, or build new relationships, meet new people, and that's what I use it for. Relative to the book, The Big Leap, Carlos was talking about, and I'm not going to give it away, but you're going to come to a part in this book, because I've read the whole thing. Towards the end, there's 2 pages that he spends talking about when he was young, and it is almost exactly the same or similar to what Bob Proctor talks about. Those of you that follow Mike Popovich, what he's talked about, and what that does for me, it just solidifies what is out there and what we keep hearing over and over and over again, that we are truly created very powerfully. We just don't know it. And I love the book. I spent a couple of days getting down to Florida, and I read the whole thing on the way down there. And I'm going to go back and read it again. But Carlos, appreciate the fact that you brought the book to us. Francine mentioned, for those new people, this is a great group of people. I can't emphasize that enough. That's all I got.
Thanks, Mike. It's, as I was maybe 5 pages into the book, I said, I have to share this.
It only took me 3.
Yeah. It was something so compelling, so profound, that I started receiving from this information in terms of knowledge, awareness, and inspiration, that I was like, man, I have to, right? So that's why I wanted to be something that I encourage people to do, help people commit to do, because one thing is gifting a book to somebody, but very different is, hey, if I give this to you, would you commit to read it with me, right? Would you share? Can we have a discussion about the topics in this book, about where this book can get you in your life, about where we've been getting stuck together with some of the information in this book? this is the powerful thing that I found very early on reading this, that I can tell you, this is probably a book that I'll be gifting to people for the rest of my life, just because it is so easy to understand, right? It's so easy to comprehend, and that so many people out there need it. Who's next, Mike?
Who's Truzanne? Is that Gilmore? Or is that Leanne?
That's Leanne. She was trying to
Okay,
hide.
Leanne, you're up. We're gonna save Kevin for last.
It's actually Brenda.
Oh,
Leanne is Zan.
Oh, I see. It's
okay.
then I didn't find her. Where is she? Hey, Brenda, you've been named a panelist.
Oh, well, I'm not sure what to
Okay.
say.
I found her.
I'm Zan's other half.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Hey, say a couple
Partner in
words.
crime. There she
Say,
is.
say a few words, please.
Oh, I've been in Trinidad for about 3 years now, and it's been slow going, but I love the book. I got the book. I actually got it on audio, as opposed to so I've been listening to it as I go to sleep at night, and I love the ideas of how the blockage and stuff like that. And Leanne also has been sending me some stuff on Bob Healy or something to find out where the blockages are. The fear factors, and finding out that I'm at the bottom of leadership. But I've been self-employed for so long where I'm just like, I've got the mindset of being on my own team, and just resetting my mind to create a team and not having to do it alone. And that's of course what I love about True Fam is you're in a family. You're not doing this alone. So that's a
Come
beautiful.
on, Brenda.
Amen.
That's what I'm talking about,
Amen.
Brenda.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I've discovered in the last week.
I love it. Beautifully said.
Yeah, thank you. So Zan's on next.
Zan is next then.
Yeah.
I got
That's
the
my
wrong Zan on the webinar. That's fine. That's
What
good.
Brenda
Your
said, though,
turn.
hey, based on what Brenda said, to everyone who's listening, it was meant to be that you clicked on her, Carlos.
Of course.
That's
Of
it.
course. There's no
Amen.
accident there.
I love you, Brenda.
I love you too, Leanne.
Oh my goodness, this book. Look, y'all know I'm reading.
She's post-it noting it.
I mean, I've got things marked and highlighted, and I mean, it's just my books wind up being a mess by the time I finish them. But it's because I do really dig into it, and I want to digest every single word, make sure that I understand the definition of every word. And I'll tell you what, that is not returning void to me, because this book is breaking walls down. I think right now I'm in chapter 4. I'm on my 3rd reading of chapter 4. But the thing that I love about it, guys, please really do yourself justice, do yourself right, and get this book, because where I am, it's talking about building a new home for your zone of genius. And I love the way that he worded that, because that's really what you're doing. Your body is your temple, right? This is the temple. And you have to make a place for that zone of genius to live. And it's so sweet, because Gay goes into a story about how he loves to be around the laughter of children. And I can totally relate to that. I'm a teacher. And he said, that at this one day, his grandchildren were playing in the pool, and he went outside to work so that he could just be in their presence. And it wasn't long before they swam over to the edge of the pool, and they had a friend, and they were talking about, what upper limits are. And it's such a cool story, because it really drives home the fact that a lot of these upper limits are placed on us when we're children, with good intentions for the most part. I think people are trying to make us socially acceptable human beings, and they put these things on us, right? But in doing so, they they cause, I've heard it called onions. It's like the layers of an onion. You're kind of wrapped up. In the book, it's described as babushka dolls, the little Russian nesting dolls. And so in where I am in the book, he's talking about how you can open up one of those nesting dolls and there's another one in there, and discovering, peeling them, peeling back the layers of the onion, or opening one doll at a time until you finally figure out what your superpower is, because we've all got one, right? And these little girls were putting it very simple. You know what? Let me just, I want to, is it okay if I kind of cheat a little bit? No, the book.
Go for it.
So these are his daughters and his granddaughters. And when their friend asked what an upper limit problem is, the granddaughter, listen to how sweet this is. She said, if you don't know it's okay to feel good and have a good time, you'll do something to mess up when things are going well. How sweet is that? And then, he kind of leads them into this direction of opening up those babushka dolls. And he says, so what do you think your unique ability is? Explaining that a unique ability was a special gift, something that you were really good at, that was also helpful to people around you. We've all got that, guys. We have all got that. We've just got to zone in on it, right? And then one of his granddaughters said, it's like a superpower, right? And then she referred to a movie, and each one of the superheroes had a superpower that they used to help defeat the evil forces. And then they went on to say, the girl said, like, I can sense other people's feelings. I know when people are angry, but they're trying to hide it. And another one said, I can tell if people like each other or not. I mean, unpacking all of these layers is bringing us back to that point of innocence. All right. There is some very practical information in here that will help you get to that point where you're back to that place where those burdens were put on you, intentionally or not. It doesn't really matter. The fact is that they're there, and we deal with them on a daily basis, or we don't deal with them. We're like a ostrich, put our head in the sand. So anyway, go find your superpower. Grab the book. It's awesome.
You're awesome, Leanne. That's awesome.
I am so grateful, Carlos.
You're welcome.
I really, really appreciate you bringing
Look,
this to the world.
It is doing me 10 times more good than it's doing you guys, just to see the change happen and these testimonials about how this book is touching your lives. So
Well,
I just felt it in my heart that it was the right thing to do, and boy, has it proven to be right.
I think you are. I think that you are earning jewels in your crown.
Thank you. Who's next?
Oh, who's here? Look, I don't know. I just got promoted, so I don't know who's here. Let's see.
We have Kevin hasn't spoken. He's still
Kevin.
there. Yeah, I think he's last.
Kevin.
Oh, did I forget? I added Gilmore, but I don't know if he's still here. And I think I forgot Rich. Where are you, Rich? I don't see
I
Rich.
think Rich is at dinner with his
Okay,
wife.
cool.
He's having issues with his priorities.
Come on, brother Kevin. Come on. Wait
Man, this
All
has
right,
been a great
Kev. All
one.
right.
I'm excited. I'm good. Believe it or not, I'm going to keep it to 1 minute. I mean, there's been so much great information shared tonight. And Steve Dixon took up enough for 3 people. So
I knew that was coming.
I'm just kidding with you, brother. Man, we had a great time at James's house. I sure wish everybody could have been there. It's always so impactful when you can get in the room with that energy. And James, again, hats off to you and Chrissy for allowing us to be at your house. And It actually started snowing while we were at James's, which was pretty cool. That doesn't happen very often in Nashville. But anyway, I'm going to keep it short. One of the things that I wanted to touch on tonight, Carlos, you had such a great point earlier when you were talking about the climb, and when people see how far it is, and if the clouds were there, they may just take 1 or 2 steps and just keep going. We've seen a lot of examples of that where, you know, people are blindfolded on the football field and were told to push the thing a certain amount of feet. And when they couldn't see how far they were going, they did it. When they could see how far they had to push it, they couldn't make it. I think, guys, it really hit home, Carlos, when you shared that. I was talking to one of the guys on our team earlier about the presentation, and James hit on it earlier about simplifying it down. What I honestly believe is going on is when people see the $12,000 challenge and they hear $12,000 a month, most people have never earned that kind of money before. Most people have probably never even earned $6,000 a month before. Now, there are a lot of us that have, but there are a lot of people that have not earned that kind of money. Those that have earned 6, 7, 8, even 10,000, most of them know how difficult it was to earn that, how many hours they had to work to get that kind of income. And I believe that when people hear $12,000 a month for finding one person, I believe that mentally they think that there's no way that that's possible for me, or I'm not worthy of earning that kind of income. It's probably a little bit of both. We really have to focus on helping people believe in their potential. And that's why that book, this community, it's so important to uplift one another and help us to realize what we truly have inside of us already, that it's okay that you are worthy of earning $12,000 a month. And just because you've never earned that before, or it was very difficult to earn, you know, $8,000, $6,000 because you had to work 120 hours a week, there is a way. There is a different way. There's a different way of earning that you may not be exposed to. This is not the Amway that Ron and some of the other guys were in 20 years ago. This is different. And if you're willing to spend just a few short minutes to see how True United works, then maybe that will help your belief. Because if we can help a person believe that it's possible, then they've got a great chance of succeeding. But if a person thinks that I can't do that, that's way out of reach for me, then we've lost them before we've even helped them start. So we really, really need to simplify, and maybe we focus on just those first 2 or 3 steps. Maybe we focus on helping somebody get to that $500 a month and show them how simple that is. And then once we help them get to that $500 a month, then they start to see how the duplication works. And then we can, you know, maybe get them to focus on the bigger numbers. But again, I just think that a lot of people we're pushing the 12K a month. I think people hear that and they think there's no way. And like I said, when somebody feels that, they're dead in the water before they even start. So that's really what I wanted to share tonight.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it so much, man. And one of the big things I think we really ought to do is, as we bring awareness to these limits that we have, is learn how to break them down. You know, I believe as a group that nobody is infallible. Nobody is really free of limiting beliefs or paradigms or upper limits. It's really a lifelong process of breaking down these walls, breaking down these barriers, and realizing how wonderfully made you are, and that you have everything in you to achieve great success in every single area of your life. We're seeing it in you, you know, in the last few months, both in your career, in your love life, in every area of your life. And it's because you've chosen to embrace what's already been given to you since birth, right? And I think for some of us, what I want to tell people out there is like, don't be weary. Don't be weary, because these things will come if you choose to raise your awareness level, to learn and to dig deep into this information. The change will come in you in due time, right? Don't get impatient with yourself. Don't feel like you have to accomplish things immediately, instantly, tomorrow, right? We live in a society where instant gratification is the norm, but it never happens in anything that way. You know, you have to, depending on where you are in this journey of learning where you at in your awareness level, you have to give yourself the time and be patient with yourself, because you might take 3 steps forward, 2 steps back sometimes, right? As you go through this, and those habits that you built over time, those limits that you built over time, or were really instilled in you at early age, try to drag you back. But the good news is that everybody can do it, and more so if you have a group of people that believe in you like we do. So
Hey, just one more thing too, Carlos. I'm
Yes, brother.
gonna throw out another quick plug. Thanks, Steve, for reminding me. Guys, listen. We used to do 5, 6 webinars a week, opportunity webinars. We've cut it back to 1. We do have the Freedom Hack, and that's an awesome tool to use, but there's nothing like the energy of a live webinar. We've dialed these webinars back to about 20 minutes. So if you want to start joining on Tuesday night, it's at 7 o'clock Central Time. I've moved it up an hour from where it used to be. 7 o'clock Central Time. We're doing just a quick overview of the Trinidad Challenge. We're keeping it simple, basics. And like I said, 20 minutes. There'll be, a few extra minutes there if there's any questions, but I would encourage you guys, if you've got new people or if you've got prospects, they're going to get a very concise overview of the Trinidad Challenge. It's at truelegends.live. It's posted in most of the pages out there. And I would encourage the leaders, if you're available, there will be a couple of Tuesdays coming up here in the next 3 or 4 weeks that Natalie and I are going to be out of the country. And I would love to have, James or Steve or, Mike, you guys know this, but I'd love to get those rekindled again, because I believe that it's another opportunity to give a live presentation to help people build their business. At the end of the day, that's what we want. We want to help you build your team, and a live opportunity overview of the business is a great way to do that. So just want to throw that out there, and just looking forward to having, some of the superstars, and maybe we could rotate a week. I'm not trying to force anybody into it, but this is our company, and we have something special. Like Steve Dixon said, we've got something unlike anything I've ever seen. I've been in networking almost 30 years. Never seen a comp plan like this. Never seen a company that you could have this kind of an upside with zero risk, no buy-in, one product, as James, 1 or 2 products. James Woods, 1 or 2. Hey, 1 really, but if you want to throw 2 in there, go ahead. And this is so simple, so pure. There's such a great heart. There's a great energy here. There's a great new commitment to each other. And I'm just honored and blessed and happy beyond belief to be a part of a community like this. This community needs to be massively bigger. There are people out there right now that would love to have something like this to start building. They've been burned before. They're not going to get burned at True United. So again, thanks for posting that, Steve. I wasn't gonna really go into it, but I'd love to have you guys on the Tuesday night, if you can make it, and if you can bring a couple, 3, 4 people with you, 10 people, I'd love to get that thing maxed out like we used to.
Awesome, brother Kevin. Appreciate you, and couldn't agree more. I think having one live opportunity webinar a week is very, very powerful, especially if we all invite people to it. So definitely this is something that we should bring up on Thursday as well. So maybe there's a rotation or something like that, that I think hearing from different people adds also power. Even some of the ladies can be sharing the information. So when a lady is heard by another lady, it's very, very powerful. And my goal and dream is that there is just as many, if not more, wonderful ladies in True United as guys. So that's coming, and it's coming soon. Thanks everybody for attending. Hope you have a wonderful night. Have an amazing week. remember, you can do anything. Anything you set your heart to, your mind to, it's all in you. Love you all. Have a
Thank
wonderful
you,
week.
Carlos. Woman
Thank you.
power.
Have a great
Good night.
night.
Awesome. See you, Kevin.
See you,
Good
Denise.
night.